All right, guys, today we're gonna do a full rundown of my backpacking setup for spring shed hunts. Now, a lot of this stuff I'm still gonna be bringing with me in the fall, but there's a couple pieces that are shed hunt specific. So let's get right into it with the sleep system and pack that I'm running. So this one here, I've got it repurposed into a different bag, but it's the Durston X-Mid 2P. So usually I rock this on my solo trips, gives me a lot more space to spread out, put my gear inside of the tent that I don't necessarily want in the vestibule. So love running that guy. It's light enough that I get away with it because it is a trekking pole tent. So what I mean by that, for those who don't know, it pitches with the use of 2 trekking poles. So instead of your normal tent poles that you would run and you'd expand them out, these 2 just pop up on opposing corners, and that's what supports the whole structure. So these guys are the Peaks trekking poles. Been running them for probably 4 years now, and they've been killer. I broke 1 pair and they replaced them for me. So shout out to Peaks on that one. And yeah, they've been killer. They're the Elite with the cork handle, which is a lot better on those hot days. I forget what the other handle option is, but the sweat just builds up on it and your hands slip quite a bit. So always bringing those guys as well. Next up is my sleeping bag, which I'm less than impressed with. This is the Climate Aspen 20, and it's a synthetic bag. It's mummy style, and really it's not that great. So there's one piece probably in this whole thing that I would not recommend to people because I bought it on a budget and I just haven't gotten the ambition to replace it yet. So synthetic bag, not great. Mummy bag's not great for side sleepers. And it's a 20, so it gets a little bit chilly sometimes. I run a liner in it, and I also have a pillow that is just compressed in with this. And what it is just basically a silk pillowcase with a strap. So you fill it with the contents, whatever soft clothes you have, puffy jacket, something like that. And that's what builds the actual structure of the pillow. And then it straps around your pad so that it doesn't slide around in the middle of the night. So that piece, I think it's just called Pillow Strap. It's a small company. I bought one of those last year and I've really been digging that. Other piece here that is decent is my Climate sleeping pad. This is their bigger one, the Insulated Static V Lux. So this one is really wide, which helps because I roll around in the middle of the night. The last thing you want to do is roll off of your sleeping pad. So I like it. It's a little bit heavy. I've been checking out some from Sea to Summit. They make some really good pads that I'm probably going to switch to within the next year. So with that, I'll move on to some more positive stuff. This is the EXO K4 bag. It's the 5,000, I believe. So their second biggest pack, and it's been killer. We used it to pack out quite a few animals last fall and a good amount of sheds so far this spring. It has not let me down yet. It's got a great build. You pick the frame based on your height and your torso size, so that all fits. Really exaggeratedly big hip straps, which I do like as well. Got the bear spray holster on there from Epoch Outdoors. Love that thing. I also have my water bladder. I switched to that this year instead of a regular bottle for most things. It's quieter, it's easier to access, it keeps you hydrated better because it's easier to access. So I'm not fumbling around with the cap of my bottle every time. It's just right there, 10 inches away. You just pop it out and you can drink. So like that better. It also keeps your water colder because it's buried in the bottom of your bag. One thing I'll say about this EXO pack is that it doesn't have locking buckles on the back of it or anywhere on it for that matter, which is a little disappointing. My old Mystery Ranch Metcalf had those locking buckles and I preferred them 10 times over. Company will tell you that the buckles won't slip, that they're locked on there. They're going to, especially if you're hauling antlers, which are a very awkward shape and they've got those hard turns to them. These buckles slip a little bit. So slight critique EXO on that one, but otherwise it's been an amazing pack, and this is what I use for everything from my day hikes to about 5 days in the backcountry. Anything more than that and I would have to upgrade to probably the 7200. Very good pack there. Next up we will do my boots before I forget about those. So these are the Kenetrek Hard Scrabbles, I believe. They're 0G, so non-insulated, leather boot, probably 6 inches tall. It's a good boot. It's heavier. It's on the heavier side. It's not super breathable, but your trade-off, it's waterproof, so I'll take that all day over, you know, if my feet sweat a little bit, that's okay. I want my shoes to be waterproof and I want them to hold up to everything, which a leather boot will. Those synthetic style boots, they have more stitching in them. They have more spots for wear and tear to break through and actually tear up that boot. These ones, as you can see, have been through quite a bit, but they're still in very good shape. You know, you keep them waxed, you replace the laces once in a while. And then another thing I do is I have aftermarket insoles in these. So these are the sheep feet insoles. They're custom molded for your foot. So for people that have foot pain or conditions like that, or you just want to be able to hike further, highly recommend the sheep feet. These basically I scan the bottom of my foot and it shows you, where the arch is at and how your foot splays out where your toes are. Well, you'll see it on there, but basically builds it so that your foot doesn't compress and twist at weird angles like it normally would, and gives you a little bit more rigid support when you're hiking. I dealt with a lot of really tough knee pain in the last 2 years before switching to these. And I won't say it's an end-all be-all solution, but it certainly helped. Pairing these guys with some foot strengthening exercises has definitely helped me. I can put on miles more and do it more comfortably. So shout out Sheep Feet. You can use code SHEDPURSUIT, save on anything from their website. They make some killer socks too, which I actually have right here. So I don't know all the specifics on them, but they've got compression in certain spots. So here along your shin, here on the bottom, and then they're still lighter weight in the top side so that they can breathe. And they're more compression built than my Darn Toughs. I used Darn Tough for probably 5 years and they've been killer. I had no complaints about them, but I like the more compression on the Sheep Feet. And honestly, since we're getting into it, we'll do all of my clothes now. So clothes, third pair of socks that I do bring with me are alpaca wool. If you guys have not tried these before, they are so soft, so comfortable, like almost too much so that you wouldn't want to bring them in the backcountry, but I'm telling you, these are great. I actually layer them on top of the Sheep Feet for most of my trips. So I've got that compression and that thin layer of the Sheep Feet with this on the outside. So there's a little bit more material to it. My foot's more comfortable and it wicks away moisture really well. That's one of the best things about alpaca wool. There's a few companies out there that make them, but as long as you got that material, these are great. Most of my clothes here, or virtually all of them, I run First Lite. They've been amazing for me over the last year, through all of last hunting season. That's all I wore. So I've got to give those guys credit. My base layer, this depends on how the weather's going to be. If it's 40s and above, I just won't bring a base layer because that's extra weight. You don't really need it. But this trip's going to be a little bit colder, so we're going to bring a base layer with me. The Furnace zip-off long johns, these just come down to about your calf height, which I do prefer because I don't want any material that's coming to the top of my boot and getting caught up in there. I like my foot to be comfortable the exact way I run it all the time. So this is out of the way, and you can zip them off if you're in the middle of the hike and you start getting hot. You don't need to take off your boots, your gaiters, your everything, try to balance there to get your long johns off. You can just zip them all the way up top to bottom, and then there's a little Velcro here. So then that snaps off and you can take these completely off, leaving your boots on, leaving your gaiters on, all that stuff. Loving those. Other piece for my base layer is this Kiln Crew long sleeve, just a soft merino wool material, wicks moisture, super comfortable, and keeps me warmer if need be. That 40-degree mark is where I'll switch over and not bring either of those. If it's above 40 degrees, I'll start to bring this piece here. It's a new one that I just got, so I don't have as much in-field experience with it, but it's the Thermogrid Merino Henley. So it's a grid material, and it's so soft, like softer than even my other base layers are, and very comfortable. So I think I'll be bringing this on those 40-degree trips for sitting around camp in the evenings and then getting up in the morning before I start to get hiking, getting that blood flowing. So keeping some more heat in with that guy, and then deciding on pants based on the weather. So those up to about 60-degree hikes, I'll use the 308 pant. So this is their pretty much their best pant I think they've ever made, or best selling. So it covers that wide range of temperatures. If you're gonna buy one pant from them, it should be this one. So that basically, I would say 20 degrees to 70, you can run this pretty darn comfortably. And that's what I would use for most of the season. Pair it up with the FHF belt. People don't give belts enough credit or enough notoriety. They'll just use their old leather belt or some, you know, Sportsman's Warehouse one, but this thing is great. I don't remember how much it cost. I bought it a couple years ago, but it's super stretchy with Velcro instead of an actual buckle. So when you put this on, there's not some big lump where the buckle's at. It's just perfect, smooth. Your hip belt doesn't give you any issues. Unless you're 5 days in with a lot of weight, then you'll start to notice it anyway. But that belt has been great when I use the 308s. If I'm not using the 308s, this is the Trace pant from First Lite. So this one is their lightest weight, I believe. I mean, I can virtually see through it here, which is why I like these pants. Not like that, but because they breathe very, very well. They've got the same vents the 308 has on this side, but they've got an extra vent on that side, so it passes almost completely through to allow as much ventilation as possible, and they come with their own belt. So don't need to bring my FHF one if I have these pants, and this is for my 60 to 70 degree plus days. Next up, we've got a little bit of clothes left. I know it's getting monotonous, but this is my jam. Having good clothes out there is so key to having an enjoyable trip and being able to stay out there longer, obviously be able to hike more miles as well. So last couple pieces, got my Navigator hoodie. This piece basically never leaves my bag. It's just your run and gun, everyday piece, super soft, breathable. It's not gonna be your best outer layer because it's a little softer material and it's not waterproof, not really water resistant. So this piece, if there's not rain in the forecast, that's always what I'm wearing. If there's a little bit of rain or weather or late season stuff, use the suppressor jacket. So this one is built as an outer layer with some insulation on the inside. So you've got vents, you can dump heat if you need to, but really just layer that on the outside of the Navigator or even by itself. And this piece is water resistant, insulated, really good piece for that late season stuff. If it's really gonna rain, you're going up to Alaska or Oregon or just a rainy day in Montana, this is the jacket that I've got. I forget what they call this one. I wanna say I wrote it down somewhere, but nah. It's their mid-weight rain jacket. They've got 3 levels to it. So this one's pretty darn good for me. I've never need anything more except for, say if you're going up to that Oregon, Washington area and you're expecting continuous rain, they make one that's, I wanna say it's the Omen Storm Shelter jacket. Don't fact check me on that one. 2 last pieces of clothes. These rugged wool gloves never leave my bag. These are great for those early morning stuff or even all day if it's a colder day, if the wind's ripping. It's just that extra barrier so that your hands are not freezing off. The last thing I want is my hands getting cold, especially because I'm running cameras like these ones, and I do not want to be fumbling around with that, dropping batteries, trying to get photos and messing with a touchscreen. Whole ordeal, so I always have those. And then if it's a backpacking trip, I bring the Furnace 350 beanie. Keeps my hair out of the way, keeps my head warmer, and I'm a lot more comfortable with it. Don't usually wear a beanie during the day, but nighttime stuff is killer. Let's see, what section should we go to next? We've got, let's do film. We were just talking about that. So some of this stuff I won't be able to show you guys because obviously that's what I'm using to take this video right now. I've got both Tricer tripods. I switch between the Tricer AD and the BC. So the BC is their shorter version, AD is the taller one. And I usually run the LP pan head on both with the QB Bino adapter. That thing is pretty slick, just clips right on, and one button press, you can pop your binos back off. So those will always be in my pack for both glassing setups and for filming. My main filming setup, which most of you guys aren't gonna really worry about, is my Canon R5 with a 24-105 lens on it and the DJI mic minis. That's what I'm recording with right now. They're super discreet, they've got good range, they've got good battery life. I have been loving those DJIs, and the R5 obviously is a great camera too. So That's the full setup for filming, for glassing, all of it. I run that guy. And then I also have a little phone holder from Epoch Outdoors. It's MagSafe, so your phone just snaps in there if you want to take pickups. If you're less of a YouTuber guy, but you still want to get some good videos, that thing is killer. Check that one out. On Epoch Outdoors website, check out all their gear. Use code SHEDPURSUIT on that. Save yourself some money. He also makes certainly his best known product is the Mountain Mag Digiscope. So this is the thing, snaps onto the back of your phone, lines it up through your binos so you can look through and film without having to balance everything. My phone's recording right now, so I can't show that, but it just snaps into place, lines up your binos super well. You don't need a special case for it, nothing like that, and it's so lightweight. This piece here remains in my bino harness all of the time, and then the separate piece keeps on my binos. Doesn't impede my glassing at all, and then I just pop that on when I need to glass. So love their system. Same thing, check out his website. And then my new bino harness. This one I have not used for quite a while. I've had it for a couple weeks now, but it's been off to a good start. Really like it. I ran the FHF harness for a long time and it was good to me, but I got the opportunity to test out this one from Striver Gear and figured I'd try it, give them an honest review, and it's been really good. I don't know if I can say entirely that it's best on the market yet, but it's pretty darn close. Got all the pouches I need for rangefinder, for inReach, release holder, lens cloth, and then this one on the bottom is kind of my catch-all. So more lens cloths, Havalons, flagging tape, cleaning wipes, you name it. That Epoch goes in the back here. There's a hidden pocket. Rain cover in the bottom of this, so I can cover up everything if it starts to get into a real downpour. And then the other neat thing, I can't really show it on here very well, but these will actually unclip with magnets, so you can pull the bulk of the harness off without having to undo all of your straps. Pretty neat. I'll have to do another video on that system once I've gotten more time in the field with it. The other thing that goes into my glassing setup is this DRT glassing chair. I sound like an old man here, but comfort is so nice when you do these trips all the time. I put on a good 100, 150 days a year in the field, and I want to be comfortable doing it. If it means I have to carry a little extra weight, that's okay. This thing does double as a rifle cover, but I don't really ever use it as that. Pop that guy open, and it's a full-on chair, like that. So, killer thing there. Makes me very comfortable when I'm setting up glassing for a long time. Tripod, binos up, this thing, I can sit all day, and especially for those early archery hunts where glassing is the name of the game, this will be coming with me. Smaller company, check those guys out. I talked to them a little bit down at the Hunt Expo, and they were super great guys, and I've been loving the chair so far. There's a few options out there that are similar chairs to this, but this is the best one that I have found. On the filming side, dark energy power banks, what I've been using mostly. I used the Anchor before this, and it's been all right, but I've had a couple that were a little finicky, and they're not super durable. So trying out the dark energy this year. I think this one is advertised as 2 to 3 full phone charges in it as a 10,000 milliamp. So not bad. I'll definitely be bringing a couple of these with me for a backpacking trip like I am going on. But they're solid. They say they're waterproof when everything's sealed up. They charge very fast. I took it out on a couple day trips so far, and my phone is from 20 to 80% like that. So props to those guys too. Let's see, a couple other neat things. My spotting scope is the Vortex Razor HD 20 to 60. It's the top of the line one from Razor. From Vortex. Dropped a lot of money on this thing, and I'm glad I did. Good glass is hard to beat, and I take good care of it. I got all the covers on it. That's the Epoch system on this guy too, so I can seal it up. There's no dirt, dust, water, whatever getting into either side of this. My glass is protected, and some trips I'll bring this on. It's very, very heavy as that bigger spotter, so it depends where I'm going, how open the country is. My binos are from Vortex too, Viper HD 10x42s. They've been good. I like them. They're not top of the line like the Razor is, but they've been good to me, and they're super lightweight. Extra batteries for the R5, extra batteries for everything. I've got so many batteries, I don't know what to do with them. The headlamp I run is from Nitecore. It's a NU25 or the NU27, I think. Yeah, I have a hard time remembering on these ones. I've got both, and they're real good. They're not very bright, but they're super ultralight. So a lot of guys run those Peaks headlamps, and they look great, but they look a little heavy for my style. So if I need something that's just gonna get me out of there without being 10 miles deep all night, this is gonna be the one for me. Carry a couple of those guys. They last a long time, not super bright, but they are ultralight. So Lantern 2 is also ultralight. It's from Goal Zero. So I don't know what this weighs, but it is not very much, and it'll light up any tent that you throw at it. Killer lantern. I know I say that about a lot of stuff here, but man, I love my little gadgets. This is where I geek out on gear and refining my system, and obviously doing it all year round. I'm always picking out new pieces. This is one that's been in my bag for a couple years now, and I don't think it's leaving anytime soon. Another cool trinket that's actually newer to me is this, what do they call it? Aero Go-Go Gigapump. Say that 10 times fast. But super neat little pump for your air mattress, for a raft if you're doing that type of hunt, or really anything. It can even dry out your clothes. I've seen guys do that where they'll put it up on the top of the tent and it puts out some air. So you can circulate air if you're in a hot tent, or just dry your clothes in a regular backpacking style. This thing weighs like 1 ounce. It's the lightest one on the market, so I just bought it the other day and I'm stoked to test it out. Runs off of your power bank, so as long as you've got one of those dark energies or an Anchor or something like that, run it. It barely draws any power, weighs 1 ounce, and it's gonna keep you from getting lightheaded trying to blow up a pad by mouth. So, couple random trinkets here. This is an old school nap saw. I've carried this since I was probably 11 years old. I obviously have it for hunting season, cutting off the legs, making this smaller, but also deadheads. So it depends on the state you're in, check your laws, but you can cut off antlers if it's stinky or if you don't want to bring the whole head out. So you can rip through that pretty well with one of these guys. Weighs a lot, but I haven't found an ultralight solution to that yet. Let's see, we'll get into food system here in a second. Last cool piece is Titan straps. There's a few different options out there that do the same thing, but it's basically just an elastic, goes around here, cinches down on your antlers. So, you know, they're locked into place. You're not relying on those buckles that I was talking about on the EXO to keep everything together. This piece holds the majority of your antlers, and then those straps are just there to kind of keep them against your back. So always have a Titan strap with me. Then the big one, food and medical and miscellaneous is pretty much what I have left. Sawyer Squeeze water filter is awesome. Use this for quite a few years. Super ultralight. Flow could be better, but I'm not out here filtering 7 liters, 8 liters a day. Some of these guys do. So works just fine for my setup. Emergency, always have hand warmers. And on that note, we'll break into my emergency kit. So this has sunscreen. It has bleed stop, so that, I don't know what you even call it. It's kind of like a sand or something you pour into the wound, and then it clots everything up, keeps you from bleeding out. You'll have to handle it better than that. Get yourself to a hospital still, but it can help you get there. Other random trinkets in here. I've got a lighter with my electrical tape and my medical tape wrapped around it just to save space. Super glue, Terraid, stickers, you know, for tent, sleeping bag, keep all your fluff from coming out on the trail so then you can repair it for real when you get back to the house. Paracord, can't go without that. Medicine with a little fluff in there to keep them from rattling around, but that's got my ibuprofen, my allergy meds, that's a big one for me. It gets to me in the spring, so got to keep a couple of those. Fire starter, gonna drop. Lotion, chapstick is huge. Cracked lips will piss you off to no end. Bring just a tiny little thing of chapstick and you will love it. Some other little things, gauze pads, gloves, Band-Aids, Havalon blades conveniently in the med kit, and zip tie or two. Some backups. This is one I was going to miss. A backup for my Sawyer squeeze. So say this thing freezes, or I'm a little worried that it did, and I don't trust it anymore to filter my water. This thing here has my backup. So that's the little tablets that you can put in, and they're going to neutralize it, and they're going to filter and clean your water just like this would have as a backup. Anything else in this? No. Let's see. My small toiletry kit. Got half a toothbrush. Got to cut it off just to match all the backpacker guys out there. More allergy meds, a comb, and a little thing of toothpaste. I do not go far on here. Guys will bring deodorant in the field with them. They'll bring shampoo, all this stuff. You don't need that. Maybe if you're 2 weeks in there, but your regular guy's going 2 to 4 or 5 days in there, don't bring any of that. It's extra weight. You're all going to smell bad. It's not like your buddies are going to smell any better than you, and a lot of my trips are solo, so I'm not worried about that at all. Backups for this trip are the Clean Freak flushable wipes. So these are biodegradable, better for the environment than just your regular wipes that are like the Dude wipes, I think is one a lot of people use. I prefer these. They're lighter, they're better for the environment, and they're not overly expensive. Better than toilet paper too. They've got whatever that cleaning solution is. You know, you can use them to wipe off your hands and your face too before you go to bed. Last thing will be our cook system, I would say. Yeah, let's get into the cook system. So first thing, run this Jetboil Mini Mo. Seems like I run everything right now, but it's a bad filler word. And this is what I've used for the last 4 years now, and it's been really good to me. It's a little on the heavier side. I know there's some new companies coming out. Rough Ridge is one I looked into. They seem to be making a really neat stove. So if you're wanting to check out a new one, I would honestly point you their direction. Jetboil is good, but I prefer to support more hunting-focused companies and guys that are more similar to me. So Jetboil is all right. Hasn't completely failed me. Now the big one, my food setup. I've got a tray here showing off a couple items. So non-food items, titanium spoon. You almost never need a fork back there, and if you do, you've got a pocket knife, works the same. So bring a spoon for almost everything. You don't want to pop a hole in any of these bags, and most of your meals are going to be that, I don't want to say mush, but something like that. You know, these chicken and rice, this is repackaged from Mountain House to save space. The quart Ziploc bags are gonna be, for the most part, safe for boiling water. So you can pour that boiling water in there, cook them in this, stir it in here, and eat it out of the bag without using as much space as the Mountain House packaging and without having to worry about pouring it into a bowl and sorting everything out there. Always repurposing that. And frankly, I don't have a major preference when it comes to freeze-dried meal brands. There's a million out there, your Peak, your Mountain House. This is one that I've been trying. It's called Trailtopia. Smaller company too. Kind of good. I've tried a couple of them. I don't have as much experience as I do with the Mountain House, but both of these have been good. I use a bowl if I need it. Some trips I won't even bring one. We'll debate on that on the fly. Another neat one, not a hunting company, but more of a backpacking company. Mazama, I think is how you say it. MGO is this bottle. So it's that sweet spot between a Nalgene and a Smart Water bottle. A lot of guys will run both of those or use both of them, drink out of both of them. And this has a couple features that are better. So it's got your lists for all of your ounces, your milliliters, how much water is going to be in here for measuring for your meals, and just knowledge of how much water you have. You can untwist it. You can clean the inside like a normal bottle. I think it's dishwasher safe, last I checked. But also, unlike a Nalgene, you've got the big top, but you've also got the small top on the same bottle. So I can thread on that filter straight onto my bottle, not have to worry about any of that. It's safe for boiling water, which a Smart Water bottle is not. So if you're ever on a colder trip and you're a little worried your sleeping bag is not going to hold up for you, pour some boiling water into one of these guys. Lost you guys there, got the camera working again, and we were talking about this bottle. So throw that boiling water in the bottom of it, put it in your sleeping bag with the thread sealed tight so it's not gonna leak on you. You'll be a ton more comfortable. You're losing so much heat out of your feet usually. This can save you and help you get actual sleep on a night that otherwise would have been too cold. So last section here is going to be my food. I've got this for my water, another water bag. I really only need the one bottle, so this bag's the way to go. As a backup, when I need more water, I'm not gonna be filtering straight up the trail. I don't use freeze-dried meals a ton because they are very, very expensive, and you'll see a trend with the rest of these items that they are not. So you got mashed potatoes, you got ramen, which you can actually mix both together, have like 3 good meals out of this. Good calories, super lightweight, super cheap. I live off of those. As for snacks, jerky from my antelope last year. Make a lot of jerky in the fall so that I can have better, more protein packed and cheaper kind of meals for me in the spring. Snacks, always some version of chips, Cheez-Its, pretzels, granola bars. I bring a dozen of these on every single trip. Love those. People say the tuna packets are like I don't know why there's so much talk about tuna packets. They're not that great. They don't have that much calories in them. This might be a hot take, but I do not bring tuna packets with me. I got on that trend for a little while. Not worth it. More crackers. Then breakfast usually consists of these oatmeal packets. 3 of these guys gets you a decent amount of calories, and you can throw them into that bowl or into one of the Ziplocs I was talking about. Some supplements and drinks of different varieties. You've got your liquid IV, Bare Bones bone broth. These are great too. And then a little Black Flag with caffeine in it. So if I need an energy boost, I've got that repurposed into a small bottle. And the last one, my staple, is tortillas. Love these. They don't get crushed like bread will. They don't take up as much space either. And I can load them up with peanut butter and honey and get a lot of calories out of them in a little bit of space. So I think that is everything. Little bit of a long video here, but I bring a lot of stuff with me and it's taken me a long time to dial in this setup. I will do my best to link everything down below. First one I would recommend checking out is First Lite. That is majority of my system. I have dialed it in with their clothes and they are so killer. Their merino wool blends are amazing and I cannot give those guys enough credit. Other companies I've got discounts for too are the Tricer tripods, Epoch Outdoors system, and the sheep feet insoles I was talking about. So go check out all those guys. I will also link all these other companies as best I can. These have been awesome products for me, and I want to share that knowledge with you guys. If you've got any questions about the products in the video, drop them in the comments below. Or if you have any recommendations for me, do the same. I'm always looking to learn more about gear. It's kind of my thing, and I spend a lot of days in the field trying to figure out what is best for me. So thank you guys for watching the video. If you haven't already, subscribe below. That helps me put out some more good content year round. And then like it as well. I appreciate you guys watching again.